Members of the military are at risk of losing their careers, their livelihood, for behavior that is often not even a crime in the civilian system. That's why you need to know the facts. You need to know your options, and you need the help of experts when facing military justice.
Welcome to Military Justice. I'm your host, Jim Buchanan. Our guest today is Jonathan Crisp, who is an attorney specializing in military law at Crisp and Associates. Welcome, Jonathan. Thanks for being here.
Thank you much.
Today we want to talk about QMP. Now, I understand that stands for Qualitative Management Program. Explain what that's all about.
It is the Army's way of identifying NCOs who, by virtue of something in their performance or their conduct, have demonstrated that they're not eligible for continued service, is a shorthand way of saying it.
And then what are some of the common causes that lead to being selected for that QMP process?
Sure. So what you're going to see is potentially an Article 15, or what we call non-judicial punishment. You're going to see a general officer memorandum of reprimand or a letter of reprimand. You're going to see negative performance evaluations, either one really bad one or a series of just substandard ones. And those will typically trigger a QMP.
And then I would suppose there's levels of seriousness of the alleged problem. Can that be expunged and taken out of a military record?
Every one of those things that I've referenced has an appeal process that you can apply for at the time it's being administered. So for example, if you get a negative NCOER, you can, or what we call a referred NCOER, you can appeal that and say, hey, this is wrong, the information is incorrect. If you get an Article 15, you can challenge it and go to the higher level command. It is not always successful, obviously, so we wouldn't have this process if it were always successful. So one of the things that should trigger in a soldier's mind is, listen, this is something I need to potentially brace for, and I need to try and do what I can up front to get this off of my record.
And if someone's selected for that, what should they do immediately?
If they're selected and notified for a QMP, the first stage is they'll get a period of time in which to respond and do what's called a rebuttal. The rebuttal is not limited to any particular thing. It's kind of a free-for-all. You can challenge, again, the underlying basis for the negative information. You can put in your service history and say this is an anomaly, or it was accurate at the time, but you've corrected the error. Let's say you had a DUI and a GOMAR because you had a significant family issue going on, and you're saying, hey, this was remote in time and that's not who I am today, and your viability for continued service is better. So there's a number of things you can do at the outset. Now, after that, if the rebuttal is unsuccessful, then you'll be notified that you've been selected for removal, and then you have an opportunity to appeal.
So the appeal process is important after that initial rebuttal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what we often do, because soldiers don't always recognize this, is in the midst of all this, we will apply to try and get the underlying negative information expunged or removed. So you have three bases in which to appeal. One is going to be newly discovered evidence. Maybe there was an investigation that was faulty. The next one is going to be a subsequent removal, which is what I was referencing earlier. And then or that they based it on a material error in your record. So there's only three things you can appeal in that instance.
And maybe you can go into detail exactly some of your experience with these kind of matters.
We have a referred NCOER is usually the one we see most often. So what we'll do is we'll go back and do an appeal of the NCOER and get it blacked out. And if the basis for the removal for the QMP was that NCOER, we can say, look, your reason for saying they're not viable for continued service is gone. Let them soldier on. And in every case in that instance, we've been successful. So,
all right. Jonathan, thanks a lot.
you.
Appreciate you being here today. Thanks for watching Military Justice. If you're interested in learning more about today's topic, go to mymilitarylawyers.com. Remember, you need to know the facts, you need to know your options, and you need the help of experts when facing military justice.